5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch! Hey, this is Kerry with PodcastFastTrack.com. I want to show you how to pull off a powerful podcast launch sequence. It's totally free tutorial here. Shouldn't take too long. Here we go. All right, now this tutorial assumes a few things. First of all, it assumes you've already recorded some great audio. And I mean great audio. There's a lot of podcasts out there that are terrible quality. The content is really not all that good. It's just kind of a rehash of what everybody else is doing. Come on, man. You need to be original. You need to take your inner expertise, the stuff you know really a lot about, and put it out there for people to understand. You need to get great guests that connect with your niche audience. That's what great audio is. Now, if you need a great free resource to record your own audio, you can get Audacity. It's great. It's what my team uses to edit and produce our audio for all of our clients. The business is still growing, and we do a professional job with that, so you could get that for free. If you need to record interviews or conversations over the internet, what I suggest is Google Hangouts on Air. The audio quality is good, and the conversation automatically saves to your YouTube channel. Isn't that ingenious? And then you can download the audio from there and do your editing, whatever you need to do. All right, now, number two thing this tutorial assumes. It assumes you've already set up a podcast website. If you don't have a website, my suggestion is you get a website. I mean, you can do podcasting through things like Blog Talk and Podbean and all those, but the problem with those is that you don't own that content once you upload it. They do. They can put ads into it. If you ever want to move it, you have a bear of a time moving it. You actually have to probably just re-upload all your audio to your new website. So once you start off the right way, set up your own podcast website. If you need a website, WordPress is great. I love WordPress. There's lots of plugins that make it easy. The Blueberry folks have a great PowerPress plugin that works well. And there are plenty of YouTube videos to show you how to use WordPress and get that set up. Pat Flynn has a great one. I recommend Bluehost as a hosting company, and just a disclaimer, that is an affiliate link if you go to that link. Now, the third thing you need that this tutorial assumes is that you've already set up a media host account. You need somewhere on the internet to host your audio. Okay, that's not on your website. If you try to host your audio on your website and by chance your show goes viral and you get lots of downloads, it's going to crash your website. So you don't want to host your media files, your audio files on your website. So you're going to need a place like Libsyn or Blueberry or Signal Leaf. Those are my three recommended places that I would say that you go. Those accounts are fairly inexpensive. They cost anywhere from, $15 a month to $25 a month for most people. Very affordable. All right, so that's what this tutorial assumes. Now you're ready to launch. So here's step one. Have plenty of audio available, already published on your media host and your website. Okay, now what do I mean by plenty of audio? I would suggest 3 to 4 episodes at least. If you could get 6 to 8, that's even better. You want to have those ready before you submit to any of the directories, before you try to go public with this thing. You want those available on your media host, on your website, published. If they're not published, if they're in a draft setting, the directories will not be able to pull that information and see that you have audio available. So you want those to already be published. You see, once your show is indexed on iTunes and Stitcher and some other directories, potential listeners can begin to subscribe and download your content. So make sure there's plenty of content available. And there's 2 reasons for that. The first is it gives the impression that you're a serious podcaster. You are, aren't you? Serious podcaster? You're going to make a run of this? You're going to do this for real? I hope so. There's too many people at pod fade, and they do that because they don't recognize the amount of work that's involved. This is a hard thing. So if you're not ready to put in the time and effort to make a podcast fly and keep flying, you should reconsider doing a podcast. But the second reason you want to have plenty of audio available is it provides much more opportunity for your content to be downloaded. And see, downloads are huge. That's one of the things that directories like iTunes look at to consider your show for their featured categories. So if you want to get new and noteworthy on iTunes, for example, you need to have a lot of content, because when people start going there, if there's 3 episodes that they can download, well, that's only 3 downloads for that person. But what if there's 8? What if there's 10? What if there's 15? They might download them all right away because they want to start listening. iTunes sees that as a sign of your show gaining some traction and being popular with people. And so you want to have plenty of content available, already published on your media host or your website. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is you want to submit your show to iTunes and other directories. iTunes is the big boy on the block when it comes to podcast directories. So make sure you get your show submitted to them. This video that I've got listed here, how to submit a podcast to iTunes, was done by Ray Ortega. It's one of the best ones that I've seen. So just follow the video, find the video. Just if you're watching this on YouTube, just YouTube Ray Ortega, how to submit to iTunes, and you'll find it right away. And then down here at the bottom is a link of how to submit to some other directories. I'll put a link to that in the video as well if you're watching this on video. Now you're ready to launch. Okay, so notice you don't want to submit to iTunes until you already have audio published on your website. It seems a little counterintuitive, but iTunes has to have somewhere to pull from to get that information. So that's why you do it in that order. Step number 3, choose a launch date or a launch week. That's a few weeks into the future. You want to get tons of interest in your show all at once if you can. So I suggest that you target a specific time frame for your launch. And this enables you to direct people to your show all at the same time, so you're getting a lot of downloads all at once, thus getting iTunes or the other directories to notice, hey, a lot of people are very interested in this show. Okay? It enables your show to shine more brightly on the radar. You know, they see the sudden interest and they take it as a sign that your show may be new and noteworthy material. And that is always helpful. Now, let me say this about new and noteworthy. It's not the be-all, end-all. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it helps. So if you can get in there in your niche or in the overall new and noteworthy of iTunes, that is a great way to go. Okay, step number 4. You want to enlist people to help with your Power Podcast launch. This is why you set your launch date out a bit. You want to have time to get your fans, your tribe, your friends, and other people on board for the launch. Now, here are some power tips. First of all, give a specific date range in which you want people to be involved. So say between May 2nd and May 10th, I'm going to be launching my podcast. Could you go during those dates and do these things? Okay. Now, you want to ask folks for specific things as well. You want to ask them to download your show from iTunes. You want to ask them to subscribe to your show on iTunes. You want to ask them to rate and review your show on iTunes, and you can do all those things in your podcast episodes. So if you're in the process of recording that audio, be sure you mention those things on your audio, and you can do all of those things. Here's some other things you can do. You can provide the link to your show on iTunes. So say you post this in social media or through an email. Provide the folks the link. Don't make it hard for them. Make it easy for them to help you by providing that link. Use email lists if you have email mailing lists. If you have blog post possibilities or social media, use all of those things. Use word of mouth and phone calls. Ask people everywhere you go to help you out and couch it in a way that they're helping you, not that you're a salesman who's pushing something. And that gives some final tips about your ask for help. As with any marketing or outreach, you want to go about this with a recipient in mind, the person who's going to receive your request. You want them to feel your care for them. So show interest in them first. Try to show them that you want to help them as well. You want them to feel like they are an important part of a team or a joint effort in getting something significant accomplished. And what is that something significant accomplished? Well, let's talk about some of the don'ts and do's. First of all, don't be salesy or pushy. Don't ask too often. Now, how often is too often? For me, if I got an email from you every day saying, please go rate and review my show, please go download, please go subscribe, I would probably delete you from my contact list because you're hounding me every single day. Don't do it every day. Don't ask too often. You have to be the judge of that depending on who you're contacting. Okay? And don't make it all about you. Don't make it all about your podcast. Even though you are asking for help with your podcast, make sure you do this in a relational way that communicates that you care about the relationship with the person. But here's some do's. Do be friendly and do be thankful. Make sure that people know that you care about them as much as you care about this project. Do ask them more than once. I mean, think about it. Most people are very busy. Your email may hit their inbox and they may not see it for 2 or 3 days. They may read it and say, oh, I'm going to get back to that. Another email, another contact just a little bit later on will be very helpful to remind them. And then third, do highlight the benefits of your show and how them participating with you in this launch can make a difference to the world. So if you don't believe your show is going to benefit the world, you might want to rethink your show in the first place. But if there's any way that your show is you can highlight the benefits your show is going to bring to people, enlist people in that frame of mind that they will feel like they are doing something good to help other people. If you need help getting a podcast going, if you started out at the very beginning and you said, well, I don't have those things in place, well, first of all, you can check out these great podcast consultants. There's a team at Blueberry, so you can look at blueberry.com. Notice they don't have E's in it. You can go to David Jackson at schoolofpodcasting.com. You can go to Daniel J. Lewis at the Audacity to Podcast, or Ray Ortega at thepodcasterstudio.com. All those guys would be great to help you. And if you need help with podcast production, which is the editing and optimizing of the audio, or show notes, you can contact me and my team at Podcast Fast Track. Hey, thanks for watching this video.